something so we can get out.
All right, we are going to get started as everybody gets moved in here. Give it about another minute. There's always going to be a couple last minute people. So, Durkin, buyer needs, seller need. You got something, I know you do.
I've got that one in Champlin coming on now.
How much is that?
That'll probably be $250, something like that.
When can I see it?
What?
When can I see it?
The pictures are taken.
That's not an answer.
Today, probably tomorrow.
No, I don't want it, I want to see it before it hits the market.
Okay.
Can I
We'll
see
find
it
out.
tomorrow night?
See, this is what we call buyer needs, seller need. This is why we do this right here.
And I don't even like her.
Well, no one likes you. Okay, so here.
Talk me after we'll finish
Okay.
it out.
Okay, guys, so just so you know, we're working right now on a solution to get a non-MLS database in here. So all the coming soons and pre-list that we can put right in there for you guys to see. Yes?
The one I posted on Realty Group, me and Corey got the deal together, so.
Beautiful.
It's one showing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we all set? Okay, let's see what last week's business looks like.
Mike, can I finish up? We also, the seller's now looking for a place in Ramsey, 330, 325, somewhere around.
So buyer need, Ramsey area, 330. Tiff, you want to sell your house in now then? Tom needs one. No? 330.
Yeah, not so much.
Okay,
Want to sell your garage?
I tried. So Melissa's not in, that's okay. Next. Beth Merwin Smith not in. Tony not in. Amber Steiner is in. Where do we get it? That's my old hood. That's my old hood you're in here. Referral from?
Friend.
Friends. So sphere of influence, how do you stay in contact? See?
No,
Nice.
it's a friend.
Gotcha. How often do you talk?
Once a month maybe, it's her dad.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you call that A or A plus in your sphere? How are we labeling that?
Well, A, I guess.
Okay. We're gonna have to work on that answer. All right. Cindy Rambler not in. Brianna's in. Nope. Brianna's not in. Let's see. Justin Moody. I thought I saw Justin running around
He
earlier.
had to take off.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Beth again. Is Monty still in, by the way?
Yeah, he'll be here in a second.
There's a couple people, I think Julie over here has some lots that may interest him. So before Monty leaves, let him know to.
Gotcha. He'll be in a minute.
Gotcha. Who's this one now? Tracy. Tracy's in.
Spear,
Spear?
my cousin.
How are you staying in contact? What's your cousin? How are you staying in contact?
See her at Christmas.
Okay, I was gonna say I never want to work with my cousins. Trust me, I've done it. So you see her at Christmas. All right, so we're gonna have to work on that staying in contact thing. All right. Buyers, buyers, buyers. What do we got for buyers? Oh, we got some new pendings. Even with the low inventory, you guys are still kicking some butt here, looks like. So Dan, where do we get this one?
Spear.
How you staying in contact?
Actually, that's not a spear. That's through my mortgage, through my lender.
Professional network.
Yeah.
Love it. Monty is. You know where you got this one?
I think it's an open house.
Open house. Oh, beautiful. Open house. Ray Stanger not in. Do you know where you got this one? Felicia?
Here.
Oh, okay. That's right. You guys are both working with them. Spear. Bow is Gloria in? Nope. Misty not in. Almost done here, guys, and people are still coming in. So there he is. Justin's in construction. Ray again. Do we know where you got this one?
I think it was Spear.
Spear again. Gotcha. Colleen. Do we know where Colleen got this one?
It's very likely a company.
Company lead. Stephanie Arneson. Where'd we get it? Ah, look at the price on this one.
Nice.
That one I got, I was showing one of my clients, I have a place at the Ivy Hotel,
Okay.
and the person who I was showing the place to was renting it, and she said, do you mind if I stay in here? And I said, no, that's fine, and we just got talking, and she followed me around, and then she stopped me at the door and she said, I like you, I want you to work with me.
Okay, so you had another story about somebody that you met that already was going to work with another realtor, but after meeting with you, they converted to you on the spot.
Yeah, that was, a Zillow lead I got, and anyways, I went over, I learned a little bit about him. He's in the military, cause his email is sergeant, so I talked to him about the military. And then I went over to his house to check out his house in Maple Grove, and he was into woodworking, and we just started talking, and I just noticed a couple things, and then he started playing old music, Journey, and I stopped talking, and I had to sing a little
Dance
bit.
party.
I accident, I mean, it was just like,
There's
basically,
Stephanie.
it
Open
came on.
up.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're gonna get along great. And so, I was there for 2.5 hours talking about the military and my nephew and his woodworking and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I sold his house, and then the night I got in my accident, in my head-on collision, I looked at a house in Ramsey, and I wrote that purchase agreement in the cop car.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And when I left his house, he had the agent's, thing on his fridge.
Yep,
It was like a 6x9
Yep.
or whatever, magnet.
yep.
And I said, totally your decision, what you wanna do, and he goes, well, this is the guy that sold me the house. And I said, oh, have you talked to him? He goes, yeah, I talked to him last week, but I told him that someone's coming out to look at my house. He goes, but I'm gonna go with you. And I'm like, I called Amanda on the phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had a really good day.
So Stephanie's had a lot of luck with just meeting with people, forming a relationship, and getting the business on the spot. There is 2 different kind of brokerages emerging right now. And I don't know if you guys are really following this, but have you seen companies like Redfin? Right, you all know Redfin, right? So what they're doing is, you're seeing a lot of companies going consumer direct, even bypassing agents, or they're transactional brokers. Transactional lead gen, which we do a lot of lead gen in here too. The point is you're seeing that model really emerge, but the counter to that is really the relationship building side of this business. So you got to kind of pick what you're going to be good at, but Stephanie's been really, really successful with relationship building right on the spot. So hey, not in. Pam, not in? Nope. Okay. All right, moving on from that. I think we got everybody in the room now. We'll get started. So when events are up, yes? No. Yes.
Sorry, I'm watching the comments.
All right. So events that are upcoming.
Alright.
We got lots of them.
Oh, there. Okay.
Okay. So coming up in May, Club Wealth. For those that are following us at Club Wealth, Listing Agent Boot Camp in Denver. If you haven't gone to an event like this, it is absolutely career changing. So that's going to be huge for you.
That was today.
Lead team call. Already had that event, so we can delete that one.
Mike, what's the admission to get into Club Well?
The mission?
The admission, how much?
The pricing for base level tickets, $595, $397 on top of that would give you VIP access. VIP access has reserved seating, and then the material, the course material that you get is already pre-filled out, so you don't have to take the notes. Start stuff with you. And then of course you got the hotel and airfare to get there.
So that is, if you haven't gone to an event like that, believe me, the money you're spending on it is going to be greatly, you're going to have a great ROI on it from what you learn at the boot camp. Okay, so the team leader breakout. So for team leaders, people that are building a team right now or have one, we've got that event coming up. North Star Rules and Regs, and actually that event is,
Today.
yes. Then we've got North Star Rules and Regs, which that event is tomorrow. Okay, and then for Apple Valley agents, how many Apple Valley agents in the room right now? 1. I'm sure we got some watching at home, but we're going to be doing a lot more in the office training there, so we're going to be coming down tomorrow for Commissions Inc. training. We've got time blocking with Teresa Cleveland. That's coming up this week on Thursday at the RG Advanced. Our Apple Valley Mastermind is going to be February 12th, which is next Monday. So we've got RGU. We're going to be doing our Financing 101, led by yours truly, Jamie over there, who's playing solitaire. Thanks, Jamie.
No, it's marked up. It's all about.
Oh, okay, good. Our call night. So our call night for our lead team or anybody else wants to participate, that's going to be February 19th on Monday. We got list.
Are we really gonna do the shot thing that you proposed?
Okay, so we were thinking about doing drunken call night where if you don't get the appointment, every time you don't, you take a shot. Jury's still out on that one.
After
Wink,
party?
wink, wink. We have not decided if we're doing that yet. Beginners listings to lead training. Someone have a question? No. Okay. Beginners listings to leads training. Listings to leads is an awesome program, yet we still got questions how to use it, so that's going to be February 20th.
That was an Apple Valley one, Mike.
That's Apple Valley, yep. But we're going to be streaming that one for anybody else that doesn't know. All right, so on the 21st, we got CE. We got 2 CEs. One's going to be going green, the other one's 10 most common home defects. 23rd, we got Anna's baby shower. Is Anna in here? There she is. So Anna's baby shower. Home partners on the 28th. And that's kind of the immediate stuff coming up. All right, moving on from that. We've got birthdays and anniversaries. We'll fly through this too. So Weinzettel, birthday in February. We got Brian. We've got Lena. We've got Bruce Lindholm. Where'd Bruce go?
He's on the phone.
Okay, gotcha. David Seller and Chanel Hurd, and neither of those guys are here. Anniversaries with RG, Lou Tao, Melissa Zuniga, Tyler Van Epps, Mark Beaver, Mandy Yang, Alex Wheaton, Misty Palmerno, Scott Lucy. I thought I saw Scott running around. No. And Doug Peterson. Moving through that. Okay, so Susanna, can you stay it up real quick? We want to reintroduce, for those that haven't met Susanna yet, Susanna is our newest member of our agent services department. Anna, having the baby shower soon after the baby will follow, so she's going to need some help, and that's what Susanna's here to do.
Baby?
Not with the baby, with all of you guys. So you're the only one, Bruce, you're the only one here with the February birthday, so happy birthday in February to you.
The only one?
Yep, you're the only one.
That's in the office today.
Oh, okay.
In the room, yeah.
Okay, so now I want to jump into a couple things. Number one, so you probably have all seen the Christmas party video floating around. Okay, we've got over 4,500 views on that. So for those that want to participate in the recruiting campaign or the recruiting contest, and Bruce has a video out there, Brian Weinzettel's got a video out there. For those of you guys that want to participate in the car giveaway for recruiting, share that out. Share that all over the place, because if you originate somebody that comes to an appointment to look at RG, and it came from that share, and you're the one that helped facilitate that, that's going to give you credit for an entry in that lottery. We are also, speaking of the car contest, putting together a website for you guys to look at for the terms and conditions that you can bring people to or bring yourselves to, and be able to enter your entries into that site. Because remember, all you got to do is set the appointment for long to talk to them. That's how you get the entry into it. So for the new people that haven't been here before, does everybody understand the car contest? Anybody not? Anybody need a recap? Okay. Now we just talked in the networking section of the low inventory. Is that correct? Do we have some low inventory problems? Are you guys experiencing that, or is it just Bruce over here? Just Bruce, okay. So, multiple offers. Somebody said that, I heard the word multiple offers before we started the meeting, that you guys are struggling even in the multiple offer, even with some of the multiple offer tips that we've been doing. So I want to recap really quick on the multiple offer formulas that have been killing it with almost every single buyer. I want to take just 5 minutes or a little more just to talk about this. On multiple offers, what's our first step?
Contact the agent.
And what are we doing when we contact the agent?
Rapport.
We're building rapport, right? So we're going to build rapport as much as we can. Is it a fair statement that agent might want to weigh in on who works with their seller? They want to make sure this thing gets to a closing table, right? Fair statement. So calling, introducing the lender, who's still on the phone playing solitaire, introducing the lender into the transaction early, or into the conversation early, to really help that buyer get a leg up in that competition. What's our next step?
Find a seller's hot points.
in that conversation, finding out what the seller's hot points are. You know, what's important to them. Is it the closing date? Is it strictly the price? Is it, you know, hey, I just want some peace of mind and security to make sure this is going to hit the closing table? What is their biggest challenge that you can help them with? Next thing. Think about this.
Love letter?
Yes, love letter. Okay, love letter, but I'd say beyond
Video
that.
format.
What's that?
Video format.
Okay, I was going to call it the love video, but that was going to
Yeah,
come out way wrong. So we want to send them a love letter in video format, right? So what does that mean? What does that look like? Dan, you've done these.
Yeah, I've done them. It's the same thing as right up. Hey, my name is, Bob and Jane Smith, and we love your house, and here's why. We can and pull on the heartstrings, the heart tug, speak the legacy of the house, and why they can see their lives there, and what they want to do, and how they want to do the house. It has 30 seconds top end. It doesn't even be long.
It's putting a live buyer, a face with the seller.
part of
It's
the
making it a person.
transaction.
It's making it not a financial transaction, but it's a person-to-person transaction, and that holds a lot of weight with a lot of people. Not everybody.
And one more thing for you, Mike, when you're jamming and building rapport with the agent, this has often had success. How do I make you look good to your client? Right?
So exactly.
What makes you look good? What's a win for you that gets this deal done? And how do we get it done now so we're not even having to deal with multiples?
So the next piece of this, what is our next piece after the love letter / video? What's next? Escalation clause. How many people don't know what an escalation clause is right now? Okay, good. We got a couple people. What an escalation clause says is, Dan, your house is priced at $250,000. My buyer will pay $1,000 higher than the highest competing offer, up to $260,000, provided you guys send us a copy of that valid purchase agreement of the highest competing offer. You can write that in there. Escalation clauses are great. Now, I will say I've had people, yeah.
One word, net offer.
Net offer. Yep, that's what I meant. Yep. So net offer. In other words, if the highest offer is $258 with $8,000 in closing costs, the net offer really is $250. So I'll beat that by $1,000. Okay. I've had people say, but it's FHA. Even with escalation clauses, they don't really want to work with me because it's FHA. How do we rebuke that? Because they're worried, right? About what? They don't want to praise.
Talk to them about, if you get the lender involved, how pre-qualified are they, how much work have you done, has it gone through automatic underwriting, blah, blah, blah.
So, do we have extra? Yes.
The Hammock Express for the buyer's now pre-underwritten.
Yeah, so pre-underwritten, but we still have a little bit of a problem with the low appraisal. What they're worried about is they can't hang you on the escape clause. So if it doesn't appraise, your buyer can still walk. How do we review that?
Buyer's willing to pay $5 above appraised value, then that.
But they can't hold them to it statutorily. If you build your rapport well, and you say, look, and this is a tactic I would do, if you have an FHA buyer that has additional funds, it won't work for everybody, but if they have $10,000 and all they really need is $5,000, send a copy with written permission from the buyer of that proof of funds to say, look, my buyer's got more money to work with, and they love this house. So that could help. If you're building rapport well and building trust well, and they want to work with you, that right there will help strengthen your odds. So next, beyond escalation clause, we're asking for what?
Right of first refusal.
Right of first refusal. So Dan, hey, I really want to work with you. I know that we are the team that's going to be able to drive this home and get it to a closing table for you. Yes, I know it's an FHA. They're going FHA for a few specific reasons, but they have additional funds. Here's the bank statement and their strong credit, profile to show that they're able to do this. Now, if we're not going to win, if any time we're not going to win, if we're not looking like we're going to win, before you guys just accept an offer, would you do me a favor? Would you call me and say, this is what's going to take for your buyer to win? Before you accept another offer, can you give my buyer right of first refusal? Because we do want to put this together with you.
Yeah, I have to do that.
That's how we're asking for right of first refusal. Okay? Escalation clause, right of first refusal. What Dan just said is the name your price concept. How do we get this from going to multiple offers in the first place? So Dan, what time is highest and best?
5 o'clock tonight.
5 o'clock tonight. Okay. Let me ask you this, Dan. What's it going to take right now to win this offer, to work with us? What price is it going to take? What terms is it going to take to eliminate the multiple offers?
Give me a 255 net.
255 net, let me call you right back. I can't promise my buyer will take it, but let me call you right back and see if we can get this deal done. Dan, how did this happen for us?
Oh, we won.
Okay, so on the where were we? We were driving somewhere.
We were driving back to the Pequot Lakes.
From Pequot Lakes, Dan had an offer submitted. He was all excited. Oh, we got this offer submitted. No offers on the table. He gets the phone call. Hey, Dan, you're in multiples. About 14 four-letter words came out of his mouth right at that moment. He was not happy with the fact that he's going into multiples.
Now, I pulled a long ahead of time. Long strategy. I had permission from my buyer. I knew what the parameters were. So I could just negotiate the phone and go. I didn't have to make that hold on and call my buyer back. I knew what I could do in the phone. I said, hey, if I can make this happen at this price, ready to go, go. Ask your sellers. I'll hold.
And what happened is about 3 minutes later, we got a phone call back. Yeah, they'll do it if you go up to from 250 to 260. Done. Before it ever went to multiples. So what you're doing is you're giving your buyer right of first refusal, and you're putting them in the driver's seat. Does that make you look like a rock star? When your buyer is ultimately the one that makes the choice if they win an offer situation or not, rather than just getting an email saying, hey, sorry, you lost. That makes you look like a rock star. Next, talk about FHA. You want to talk about how to help mitigate your FHA conundrum with escalation clauses. How about this? And Colleen just did this, I think yesterday or the day before. Pre-inspect the home.
That was Sunday.
Sunday. Pre-inspect the home. If highest and best is in 48 hours, I'm going to bring my inspector over there, and we're going to write this thing non-contingent. And yes, I'm FHA, and yes, you might take a little less from me because we can't really, screw around with the appraisal. You might take $2 or $3 grand less from me or $4 grand less from me than the conventional, but you have peace of mind knowing this deal is going to close.
We're going straight to pending status.
We're going straight to pending. Does everybody understand that? So as Colleen is walking around with a home inspector, other people are showing the house. And they're going, wait a minute, is this thing sold? No, it's not sold. Highest and best tomorrow. But, see, that's the advantage that she was creating for a buyer, was able to write non-contingent, they had peace of mind, and even with FHA, that's going to help strengthen their position against stronger conventional offers.
I have a question. So I just lost on one yesterday.
Yep.
And I did the escalation clause.
Yep.
And did help. My buyer was FHA. We were up against conventional. I called the mortgage guy on Sunday.
Yep.
Asked if my guy would qualify during the Super Bowl, qualify for conventional. He said absolutely. I called the agent and said, we can go conventional if that's what it takes.
Yep.
They still didn't give it to us.
Okay, do we know, how good was the report building beforehand?
It's one of our agents.
Was it? Okay, gotcha.
Maybe it's me.
I was gonna say, were you rude in the hallway once?
I just think I answered all your questions.
Did she just say it's her, meaning her own buyer didn't get her listing? Is that what she said?
Yeah, wait a second. Oh, yeah.
No, it was one of, the report was good. And we got it there before pre-market. I don't know what I did wrong. I was so crabby last night. Poor John, he got an earful.
I would like to dissect that after.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, help me with that, because I'm
Will
still
do.
not sure what happened.
Okay, so beyond that, some other things to strengthen the position. What else can we do?
Earnest money?
Earnest money equal to down payment. Another huge one.
Cash you're gonna put down anyways.
Yep. How about this? A complete credit profile and financial statement, financial worksheet from the buyer with the written permission. By the way, I'm conventional. I've got a 780 credit score, and I know I'm going 5% down, but I really could go 15% down. Here's my bank statement. Does that not strengthen your buyer's position, right? Okay, so that's sort of our overview on multiple offers. Not to beat a dead horse, we talk about this a lot, but you guys are in this scenario right now. Let's talk about low inventory, why we're in low inventory, and what to do about it. How many people right now are struggling to get people to list their homes? How many people are campaigning to get people to list their homes right now?
Like
We got-
like telling them they should do it now.
Yeah, like how many people are marketing for sellers? Like putting messaging out there right now saying, you guys you're missing opportunity, get your house on the market.
Yep.
You are, okay? Who's throwing an offering, such as a USP or some offering out there to get them to list by a certain date?
I did that.
If you list with me today or before the end of February, I will this, or that. Think about that. Would you pay $1,500 in an offering to get a listing you're going to make $9 grand on? I'd pay $1,500 for a listing right now. If you're not, I think you're not thinking it correctly, because you're gonna lead you on that, off that listing and create other opportunity. So, for example, what's some USPs and what's some offerings we could do? Who's working with one right now?
X time frame, sell your house for free.
Guaranteed sold. If I don't sell your house under these terms and conditions in 30 days, I will sell it without charging you a commission.
Offering a moving.
Offering
Right.
moving. Offering staging. I'm pointing to the stager.
I've got 2 people with swimming pools right now.
Okay?
How do you do that?
Offer to have Kevin do the polar plunge.
That would be cute though.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, what else we got? Love it or leave it. If you listen to the next 60 days, when I sell you your new home, we move to the new home. If you don't love that new house within the first year, I'll sell that for free for you. Throwing some guarantee out there to get the phone to ring or to get them to opt into your landing page, that's what you want to do. Okay? So, you need to get the messaging out there. Why right now are people not listing their house? What's the number one reason?
Can't find a place to live.
They're afraid.
They're gonna be homeless.
Can you reverse the risk?
Yeah, go find them another house.
No, that's what they're afraid of. Yes.
Accept an offer contingent upon them finding a house.
Marketing the house contingent upon finding them a home of their choice. Reverse the risk for them, people. You guys want to move, you want to take advantage of this great market where there's no inventory, you don't have to paint your fence, you don't have to replace your siding, you don't have to have perfect curb appeal. Offers are happening. We got stories of people, Beth Merwin messaging, I always forget her full name, Merwin Smith, messaging the other day how she had a house on the market for 2.5 hours. Okay, you're missing this awesome opportunity because you're afraid to find a house, you're afraid of being homeless. Let's reverse the risk for you. You won't sell unless we find you a home of your choice.
Yeah, so our team just had a closing, the seller wanted us to build a house first.
Yep.
Just negotiated a July closing date.
Beautiful. Yep. And will buyers put up with that right now?
Yes.
Yes, they will. You guys need to get that message out there. This is why it's a smart move to sell in the winter and why it's a smart move to sell right now. What else is happening right now in the market?
Interest rates.
Interest rates are moving. You guys seeing that? We're going to talk about that in a minute. And actually, when I brought that up, maybe it's just a coincidence, but Jamie has actually stopped playing solitaire when I said interest rates. The thing I want to talk about first before we move into that is listings. Okay, competing for listings right now. What is the message out there? Do they want to pay you a bunch of money to sell their house if they're going in 2.5 hours? Is anybody struggling with that? Okay, it is the Redfin approach. Well, why would I pay you 6% when I can throw a cardboard sign in my front yard and get 4 buyers right now? What's our rebuttal to that? What's the 4 main failure points that sellers lose massive amounts of money? What are they?
Legal.
What's that?
Legal issues.
It could be illegal.
Sale price.
Sale price. Okay, so they're going to lose money in sale price. How do they do that? What's the first step to lose money in sale price? Improper pricing. Improper pricing. Now, if I price myself 10% over market value, what's my buyer pool? How many people that are looking in that price range will actually look at my house? 10%. I shrink my buyer pool down to 10%. Does that mean all 10% are going to want to buy it?
Nope.
No. In fact, no one's going to want to buy it. Improper pricing, first way people lose massive amount of money. Second way they lose massive amount of money is improper movement on price when they do it. How many people are using the list hub reports right now in here? How many people know they get a free account here? Okay, if you don't know that, you do. You're able to talk to your seller and say, Mr. Seller, you know what? As we talked about early on, I really think the house should be at 200. You wanted to go 215. It's been a week. We haven't had the activity we expected. Let me show you the analytics on this. And I can show them 3,000 people looked at your house. Nobody came to see it. 3,000 people on Zillow, Realtor.com looked at your house online. They didn't want to come see it. We have had 250 people that reached this reach in an auto email from the MLS, and one person saved it as a favorite. We need to adjust this price because if we don't, what are we doing? We're chasing the market down. If we wait 30 days to adjust, what are we doing? We actually need 2 price adjustments at that point because we're chasing the market down. We don't want to do that. Third place, people lose massive amounts of money in real estate. When the offer comes in, weak negotiations. weak negotiations. If I'm gonna agree to sell your house for 4%, did you just out negotiate your negotiator? Think about it. When the negotiations come in, how strong is your negotiations? Fourth place that people lose massive amount of money. Improper negotiations upon repair and low appraisal. After acceptance of offer. After we accept the offer, the repair requests come in and they want 35 items fixed. How do we handle that? When the appraisal comes in 10 grand low, how do we handle that? Guys, you can articulate this message to your seller that they're tripping over dollars to pick up pennies. You're worried about saving the 1%, but you can lose massive amounts of money going with somebody that's not right for you, that's not skilled in those 4 areas. Are you able to articulate your value and what you're doing differently in those 4 areas? And fifth, in the over-encompassing one, the overall encompassing one where people lose money, this is a 5th additional. Improper lead generation and lead capture. Again, we talk about this in lead conversion. What's the average amount of people that get a response in real estate right now? When someone makes an inquiry on your property, how many people get a response? How many people don't get a response?
A lot.
36% of people in the industry don't respond. 36%. And the ones that do respond, 5 to 9 hours average time. Are realtors hungry out there? If I click on your property or I call on your property, is it true I might call on 3 or 4 others? If my average response time is 5 to 9 hours, is it true that somebody else may pick that buyer up first that has no interest in selling my house? They want to sell their own or somebody else's. Okay, I'm losing opportunity there. What is my lead capture? What is my response time? Am I utilizing really a no buyer left behind mentality? No one's going to escape when they have interest in this property. And can you articulate your system, your back-end systems on all 5 of those points? Because if you can justify a higher commission. And if you can gain listing referrals. If you can geo-farm. Right now, if you're not bringing in sellers, you're missing opportunity. Winter sales or not. People go, well, I really want to wait for the spring market. But why? Why do they want to wait for the spring market?
They have more competition than it's hard to sell the house.
Yeah, they think because they're told that spring's the time to sell.
Right.
You guys need to reverse that and let them know why right now is the time to sell. Now, somebody brought up interest rates. I want to show you guys a tool that we have. Jess, where's that at?
Let me show one final first.
Here, let's show it first, then we'll show one. I don't know if you guys know that we have this, but right now this tool is going to come in handy for you. This is the rate price calculator. Yep. You guys can all see?
Is it good? Is it big enough?
Now, we have today's current, I'm going to change this to 200,000. Actually, I'm going to do average sale price. We'll do 250-ish. Down payment on that, we'll call it 5% down.
2 million.
I'm just being optimistic. And Stephanie Arneson over there in her big one she just did, I'm trying to encourage her.
Thanks, I need it.
Okay, so 250, and what's our down payment on 250? 5% down. We're sitting at what? 12.5. Okay, this is now today's scenario. If we bought today, if you're Mr. Seller or even call Mr. Buyer, and you're on the fence about today, the prices you're looking at, and you're not super impressed at 250, you're waiting for something better. Your down payment is at 12.5. Your loan amount is sitting at 237.5. We'll call it today's rate of 4.5%. There's your monthly payment, Mr. Buyer. Let's go to scenario 1. Home prices decline by 5%, yet interest rates rise by 1%. What's our monthly payment?
More.
It's more. How many people, and Jamie can attest to this, who's back to playing solitaire, Jamie can attest to this, how many people are going to say, well, Jamie, I know the rates are going up, but I'm just waiting for the home prices to go down to counterbalance that? Do you know how much the home prices need to go down to actually break even? It's more than 5%. Let's think of the likely scenario that's happening right now. Scenario 2, homes increase 5% and rates go up 1%. That's likely what's happening right now. Home prices are going up because the lack of inventory, the high buyer demand, and rates are going up. What does that do to your monthly payment?
Ouch.
Ouch. Here's where it gets really interesting. Scenario 1, prices went down. This is over 30 years. How much more did you pay over 30 years?
$6,000.
Look at scenario 2. Do you guys think this would be a tool that you can sit down with a buyer that's kicking tires and run through this? We just had someone do this, and they've been working with the buyer 3 months, and they've written, I don't know how many offers did Hunter write with that,
Oh.
right? This conversation got them to actually write a strong and valid offer with this tool.
And maybe more than the list price.
Yes, yes. So, how many people are interested in having this?
Yes, please.
If you guys want this, it's right on our back office right now. Jessica's going to show you how to find it.
Okay, so here's how you log in. You go to rgoffice.com, I keep saying it wrong.
Yeah. This is going well.
rgbackoffice.com. In case you were confused before, and now you really are. So you log in with your first and last name, all lowercase, and then your first initial and your last name, all lowercase. And you'll see this screen here. You go to Resources, Cloud Delta.
Let's let them write that down. If you guys are wanting to write this down.
We can ask Tabitha.
Yeah, Kevin appreciates that.
Over and over again.
Ask Susanna and Anna. Resources in Cloud Delta. The resources part is, in the Cloud Delta part is where everyone gets hung up.
It's our admin, but it's gonna log them in directly to this from.
You'll probably see this, yeah, sorry, yep, you'll probably see this right away, but just in case you don't. You go to Resources in Cloud Delta. And then we do have an index, a table of contents right here, and it's called rate price calculator, but I know where it is. It's in Tools and Tech, and it's at the bottom. It looks like a zip file, and you just double click on it, and it downloads as the spreadsheet. And you just open it up, and you're good to go. Enable editing if your Excel asks for it, and then you're good to go.
So what I think every one of you guys needs to do with your buyers that are kicking tires and kicking the fence is have this conversation. I think what you need to talk to about your sellers is the same conversation as saying, as rates and prices are moving up, buyers will likely cool off, or they'll have different expectations. This is the time now. Don't wait, don't hesitate, get on the phone. Here's the thing, guys, all your sphere of influence and all your sources that are thinking of doing something, how many people are, I ask this question every single day, every single meeting, how are you staying in contact? Who's systematically staying in contact with their sphere? Who knows who's on the fence to move this year? For those that are not systematically staying in touch with your sphere, do so. Find out who's thinking about doing something this year. And I'm not saying, hey Elijah, it's been 6 months since we talked. You thinking of selling this year? Probably not the way you want to go, okay? But through conversation, figure out what people's plans are. A lot of people will offer that up. And if they're thinking about it, have that consultation with them and talk about the advantages of doing now versus waiting. When they're going to wait, they're going to find stiffer competition, higher interest rates, a different market perhaps in 2 or 3 months. Okay, Jamie, do you have anything to add on mortgages and interest rates?
Well, everybody saw the move yesterday in the stock market?
Yeah.
The day before? Yeah, so anybody that has investments understands what's kind of happening. Mortgage-backed securities, even with that big of a move for the worse, we saw little to no improvement in rates, which is really strange. That just really tells you that there is no reason to believe rates are either going to maybe stay where they're at. At this point, we fully expect them to continue to rise. So in case your buyers are on edge about that, just explain that one scenario. We had a record day in the stock market. Usually, when people shift their money from securities like mortgage-backed securities, which give very small returns, and they only go in there for safe, basically so they don't lose money, is really the only reason investors move their money into that. They didn't even move their money from the stocks into that yesterday. Well, they did a little bit, but not nearly as much as should have happened. So again, just something to explain as you're sitting down and running through that calculator, wherever that went. You can explain to people so they understand, you know, that, hey, holding out the forecast has no expectation it's going to be, you know, put you into a better position. So, and again, everything I've read, you know, yesterday was funny. Somebody asked me, so what do I do? And I pulled it up, and the experts themselves said, we don't know really what to tell you right now what to do, because we can't predict the next week, even 2 weeks out, what's going to happen. So my position in people is if this is what the payment you're comfortable with, lock. Because if the market, most lenders have the ability, let's just say I'm wrong, and the market turns around and rates, meaning improves drastically. Most lenders have the ability to renegotiate that rate a little bit as well. So that's another peace of mind for these buyers. You know, if they're on the fence, they make the offer, get it accepted, and let's say the rates turn around and really improve, we still can renegotiate and get that rate down, not maybe to the best, but close to where that improvement came as well. I don't know if a lot of you know that, but most lenders have that ability if it, we were wrong in our recommendation. So yeah.
Gotcha. So, does everybody have a good understanding of how interest rates work with the stock market? Has anybody not heard that before?
I have no clue.
Okay. So, as the stock market moves up, what traditionally happens with rates?
Rates go down.
Do you know why? So, stock market goes up, actually interest rates go up.
Because people gamble with the stock market rather than being safe with the
That's right.
mortgages.
There's always so much money in the investment world. So what happens is if you're making, let's say I bought $1 million of mortgage-backed securities and I'm making 4%, we're charging you 5%, right? So that 1% fee goes to pay the costs of the servicer, the originator, and so forth. I'm only making 4% though. Now I'm watching the stock market just blow up. Well, why am I sitting at 4%? So I'm going to take my $1 million, move it into the stock market. When that money leaves the mortgage-backed security market, they have to raise interest rates to create demand. So I'm more attracted to buy back those same mortgage-backed securities. And if they raise interest rates to attract me as an investor, what does that mean to you as a consumer? You have to pay that difference. So that's what happens. And during the crash and stuff, you had Uncle Sam in there buying a lot of those mortgage-backed securities to keep rates low. That's what used to happen for a while there. That's no longer the case. So you understand, there's only so much money that can be flown around. So that's why it's really weird when the stock market sells off that much and we get to see little to no improvement in mortgage-backed securities.
It's counterintuitive.
That just tells me that, boy, nobody has any confidence in what rates are going to be doing.
Yep.
So when it comes to the investor world.
So, the rules that normally apply don't always.
No,
So,
it doesn't.
right now, there's definitely triggering some concern that rates are going to move, but that's a conversation you want to have with your people now. Don't wait.
And I wasn't playing solitaire. I was actually reading these live updates.
Yep.
I'm reading these live updates so I can understand it because it's changing on a day-to-day basis. When you have a 1,200 point move in one day, that's right. So we're getting live updates trying to figure out what advice to give to clients we're working with now that 2 weeks ago I quoted numbers to. So
Perfect. Any questions on that? Good? Okay. Thanks, Jamie. Mike Park back there from Wells Fargo. He's hiding in the corner, but he does that. So, anything to add to that, or anything to talk about?
Right on. I mean, I think inflation has a big impact on interest rates as well.
Louder?
Inflation.
Yep.
Talk about inflation.
Yep.
With inflation, interest rates will rise.
Gotcha.
We'll start to see that.
Are you seeing from the top down in Wells Fargo any messaging of what recommendations are, or any of that kind of stuff?
Well, we can't really, we tell them what we hear and see.
Yep.
But yeah, interest rates, they're talking about possibly 5% by the end of the year.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I want to hear. Thank you. Next on the list. Want to talk to you. So last night, Tabitha and I met with an old friend of mine. I'm going to bring her in. She's got a great company concept that's a kind of an alternative to traditional estate sales. They're called Sort Toss Pack. What they do is they go in and help people organize their stuff, sell the things. They have a storefront. They sell things that are valuable, donate things that are not, and toss things that nobody wants, and then help them move. It's a moving company with that whole service. But we got in a great conversation about the senior demographic. I don't know if you know the numbers on this right now, but today in the Twin Cities we have about 500,000 seniors. Anybody have a guess, in the next 10 years, what that number is going to look like?
A lot.
1.3 million. That's the estimate. So, I think Long by 10 years might actually be a senior, so he'll be in there.
AARP card.
Yeah. He's got 10 years on me, so I can make fun of him until then. My point is, how many people are looking at the senior demographic as a niche to start working? Love to see that. Love to see that. What we're finding more and more in real estate as things develop is people really are looking for niche specialists. The days of somebody wearing 15 hats, I work with first-time home buyers and luxury, and I do commercial, and I do this, and that. That agent is starting to fall by the wayside. People are looking much more for a specific niche and more hyper-local. That's something that's really kind of coming into the market. Yes?
Listings to Leads has a good, it's called the empty nester, but
Yep.
you can put your own pictures in and create it for retired people, and change the wording a little bit.
I want to eventually start looking into developing a really good senior program, because with seniors, a lot of times, it's not just about selling their house, it's about a transition. And do you think there might be some anxiety for somebody that's, 65, 70 years old, transitioning to that next phase of life? That's a stressful time.
They have a lot of stuff.
They do, and then just the emotional torment of having to go from 4,000 square feet down to, and then stay there 3 years and I'll go into assisted living. And that's kind of what they're dealing with. With a lot of it, they've got no help. There, tons of stress involved in it. So I want to eventually kind of form that, not necessarily just a destination, but that kind of lead gen program in here. So how many people would have interest if we explored that in the next year or two? Good to know. Okay. Next, mentorship. We have a lot of new agents starting. I mean, our onboarding agents is really, really, it's busy right now. It's the time of year that people are joining brokerages. New agents, we've had a few people come in as brand new agents, and what they need is some mentorship. We've got people that are willing to take new agents on as mentorship, but what we've seen in the past is mentorships fail a lot of times due to lack of structure. So guys, I can tell you right now, if who's thinking of doing mentorship or has done it in the room? Tom, okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, if the concept is, I'm going to bring these people on, let them work, and I'm going to collect 20 or 30% of their money, that's never going to work. What's going to work is providing structure and actual plan to help mentor. So if you don't have that, we're going to help develop that in the course of this year. A solid mentorship program that is easy to follow. So if you're going to bring a new agent on and you want to mentor them, we don't want just hey, call me when you need something, because what happens, a new agent ends up feeling like they can't really reach out. They're bugging you, you're busy, they end up going out on their own, they create themselves and us a lot of problems. So mentorship, we want to structure, make that more structured. So keep looking out for that. All right, media room. Media room is going to be ready by next week. We got about $5,000 of the production equipment that's going to be in there with camera and lighting. If you're going to use it, there's going to be probably a light fee to use it at all, because that's space we would be renting out and it's a cost to us. So we'll have a minimal fee to use it. If you're going to need editing, however, that's going to be based on the size of the project. So we're going to have some editing solutions for that as well. This is not just a simple, shoot a Facebook Live video. This is going to be high, kind of high quality stuff. So how many people right now have ideas what they want to do with the media room? Only 2 or 3? Okay, there we go.
Mike, where is it? Where is the meeting room?
It's right behind Jamie, who's playing solitaire again. It's right behind that wall. He's going to.
Getting really good though.
Yeah. Are you being retargeted on your solitaire app through Realty Group? Because if not, we need to talk. Okay. Next. Listings Plus. Who doesn't know what it is? Okay, Listings Plus is an add-on we can do. It's $100 per listing. It's a lead generation lead capture system we put on your listing. Eric Wilson, for example, had 4 leads that came on one property that he was working with for $100. I'd pay $25 a lead for running buyers around all day long. So if you're not utilizing it right now, you definitely want to. So who's running that program right now? Front desk, which would be Kelly. So if you are going to be thinking of putting property on the market and you're going to spend, I don't know, if you list 12 homes this year and you spend $100 a piece for $1,200, if you sell one house, you're already way ahead. So TCs can set that up too, by the way. Last but not least, open house stories. How many people are doing open houses right now religiously?
How can you find them?
Yeah, because with no inventory, right?
Right. Well,
Yep.
like every time you find one, it's sold, or it's like super crappy listing.
Okay,
No
so
offense, everybody, but
I think I asked somebody, I don't know who it was, but maybe Anna. We're trying to get
for
stats.
8 months, it's overpriced, obviously, in this market.
Yes.
So that's my point.
But here's the messaging on that, Tiff. So I think Anna might be looking at this, or one of you guys is the fall through rate that happens on AI property that goes back to active.
Yep.
With bad appraisals, with bad inspections, in buyer remorse. That's the other one, right? Buyers are having buyer remorse because they're just buying something to buy right now. So what is our fall through rate? 20%, 30%, 35%? I'd like to know what that rate is. because that's the messaging. Yes?
So when it's AI though, it's not really showing up on some of the websites that
No,
you
it's
can
not.
drive traffic there, so I would do them.
This is my point, because we want to still do them, because if the messaging is, hey Tiffany, I know, you know what, the property right now is subject to an inspection, it has a contract, that buyer really has right of first refusal, however, it's still not sold. We have a 30% fall through rate on these properties in the Twin Cities right now. You're getting a backup offer for your seller, is that not a rock star move? Is that not a great move
Yeah,
to have for
totally.
your seller, right? So for us, allowing the open house to take place and telling our sellers it's a good thing for them, even though it's still under inspection, is a good move. For the buyer to put the backup offer in, what does that do for them? Does it build confidence with the seller that if the seller gets an unreasonable inspection report, they can just say, nope, I'm not going to deal with it, I'll move on with buyer number 2. It's a win-win for everybody. If you have a 25 or 30% chance of a fall through and you have a backup offer out there that's strong, perhaps that 25% on your particular property might go to 40 because that seller won't be as inclined to negotiate with the buyer. So open house, whether it's sold or not, if it's not pending, if it's still active under inspection, do the open. Still do the open. Chances someone's going to buy that house at the open, by the way, what do you think that is? Less than 5%. Less than 5% of people are going to walk in and buy that house. It's all about meeting the opportunity for other stuff. Okay, anything else before we wrap up? Monty?
I'll share something on that too.
Yes.
So I'm a builder, I've got a number of new construction, we've been doing open houses the last few weekends, and the fall through rate has been pretty significant for me. We just had another cancellation yesterday.
Yep.
All of these sales have been generated off of the open houses though, and most of the people going to them have showed up based on the sign, not on stuff on Facebook.
Correct.
And all MLS, Zillow, any of that stuff that's out there. They're showing up because they see a sign and they see a home available.
And you know why they're doing it? Because the inventory is so tight. They are driving around neighborhoods looking for opportunity.
Yep, Elk River area, these ones. So it's worth doing the open house irregardless. You know, just have the sign and get the traffic out there. But second, you know, as a builder, I've always been the first person that brings a full price offer or near. They're priced on market. We're going to take that. We don't mess around too much with multiple offers or any of that. I've been starting to regret that since December.
Yep.
Because I never wanted to have a reputation of, you know, going back and forth with multiple clients. And so, yeah, but I've been starting to regret it lately.
Having those backup offers, you can just move from one to the other, is huge. And if you can explain that benefit to a seller. If I'm a buyer and like, look, I understand your house is sold, you're going through inspection, or you haven't had your appraisal yet, let me put a backup offer in. I'm going to look like a rock star to my person. If there's a fall through, you've got somebody to just move to right away. It's a win-win for everybody. Backup offers right now should be in your vocabulary. So, you know, if you're going to find people representing open houses, that's a rebuttal I get all the time. Oh, they all have a realtor. You know, if I'm doing the open house and somebody walks in and I'm like, well, who's your agent? Well, Tom Durkin's my agent. I always ask, is he out of prison yet? I thought he was still there. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, having an agent or saying they're working with somebody is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, right? Because a lot of times people are going to tell you they're working with an agent, but are they signed? Not always. Agents are really bad at getting buyer's reps signed. So still, explore it. Unless they're signed, explore it. Anything else before we wrap up? By the way, I want to congratulate Tracy Hustoff over there. For how long have you been part-time?
3.5 years.
And now you are full-time. Congratulations, Tracy. Good work. That's all I have for you. Long, you got something before we wrap up?
Nope, playing solitaire right now.
Oh, that's it. JV inspired Long. He's impressionable. All right, thanks, guys.